Ronald Reagan's real life was bigger than any Hollywood role he played. Actor Dennis Quaid brings the story of the 40th president to the big screen in the movie Reagan. The star sat down with Efrem Graham to talk about this long-awaited film.
Oh, Lord, what a heavenly life.
From astronaut Gordon Cooper in The Right Stuff to rock and roll singer Jerry Lee Lewis in Great Balls of Fire.
Do you believe in friendship, Wyatt Earp?
To dentist, gambler, and gunfighter Doc Holliday in Wyatt Earp.
So do I.
Dennis Quaid has built a career bringing real big lives to the big screen. His latest?
I will be frank with you that as a citizen, I would not like to see any political party outlawed on the basis of its ideology.
America's 40th president in the long-awaited film Reagan.
Because I still believe, Mr. Chairman, that democracy can handle it.
You've been busy, but now you get to play Reagan. What does this role mean to you?
It's become my favorite role I've ever had, actually.
Oh.
Reagan was a hero of mine. I voted for him twice, and yeah, he was like everybody's dad. He was a real heavyweight, and he won the Cold War. It really meant a lot to me in my life, and for all of us of that generation, and for the generations today.
Yeah.
And playing him was the challenge of my life.
Challenge. What was the hardest part?
The biggest challenge of playing Reagan was getting down to him as a person, you know, not the hero that he was to me and so many people. And that's kind of warts and all, you know, because that's who we are. There was a place in Reagan, in talking to people who really knew him and were close to him, that was very private, that was impenetrable. This is the great communicator we're talking about. And what was that all about? That's what makes people tick down at their core. That was where I wanted to get to. Like I said, I didn't want to do an impersonation, and fear went up my spine because Reagan was like Muhammad Ali. Everybody knows him.
I am about to start the biggest war of this century, and I'm not going to fire a single shot.
You're going to blow up 8 years of diplomacy.
Well, if you think that got their undies in a wad, you just wait.
Knowing what you know now, having played the role, how would you compare the Reagan family to the Quaid family?
We were similar in many ways. I didn't see myself as Reagan. I didn't think I looked like him. We both have sunny dispositions, and I think, down at the bottom of things. And he was an actor.
Tell me about finding the voice, because Reagan had such a distinctive voice, and I can imagine that had to have been weighing on your mind.
Yeah, well, that and the way he walked. And I was lucky because they got the part, they offered me the part in 2018. We didn't start shooting until COVID in 2020. Great time to make a movie. I basically talked like that for a year to the my family's, you know, they had to put up with it, I guess. In earlier life, he had a, you know, his voice was very much higher. It was way up here, you know, and it wasn't until about the time that he was president that, you know, he comes down to where you slow down and you talk slower.
I call upon the scientific community, those who gave us nuclear weapons, to turn their great talents now to the cause of mankind and world peace.
You, in this story, explore more of his faith than people are probably used to seeing.
Well, it's because it was such a huge part of his life. It was an everyday part of his life, you know, starting from as a young boy. You know, he even made the decision on his own to be baptized at that time.
There's a purpose for your life.
You can run from a bully for so long, but after a while, you're going to have to stand up to him.
His mother was his rock. That's another way that we're very similar. And he had an alcoholic father, which is kind of similar. That does something to a person, and you need a rock in life. And he found that early on.
This is also a love story.
Yes, it is.
Hello, I'm Nancy Davis.
Hello, Nancy Davis. I'm Ron Reagan. What would you have me do?
I want you to fight!
At the core of our movie is the love story between he and Nancy, which was very real. and very rare. He wrote her love letters like every day, a little note or whatever, you know, even when he was in the hospital after the assassination attempt, actually. And I don't think there would have been a President Reagan if it wasn't for Nancy.
Ronnie, remember when we met? You told me that you wanted to make a difference in this world. You know what you have to do.
How are you feeling now that the movie is finally coming out? Because many people probably thought this was released, because I remember when we did the big splash and spread.
It's been going on from, well, I think it was a lot of tension, you know, just with it getting made. And the only thing that I really insisted upon is that it not come out during an election year.
You got your wish.
Yeah. And because I thought, you know, I didn't want this to be perceived politically. And it's not a political movie at all. But then again, like, interest is very high in Reagan, and the times that we're living in, especially 78, 79, 80, are so similar to 21, 22, 3, and 4, actually. And so I have to say, well, what do I know?
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Ephraim Graham, CBN News, Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, I remember hearing President Reagan give a speech, and it was absolutely spellbinding. It was unbelievable how he could command an audience. And the last time I saw him was all the way back in 1988 at the Republican convention, and it was, you know, it was his swan song. But even the hardened newspaper reporters, all the correspondents, everybody stopped and their attention, he riveted their attention. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. It was absolutely incredible. Here's another thing he did that I don't think gets enough recognition. Back in 1983, he declared a year of the Bible and encouraged every citizen of the United States to reread the Bible and read it in a year, and that through our adherence to the principles there, we would once again understand the root causes of America and what our liberty, our ideas of freedom are based on. That was something astounding. I'd love to see that happen again. Well, Reagan opens today across the country. Check your local listings for a theater near you.